Welcome to Contractor Clicks. Maximize and stabilize your lead flow in 2024. This is a special time for us. On Fridays, we tend to meet with Codemaster Lab students and members to discuss and talk about growing a concrete coating and decorative concrete business. Today's conversation is going to be for concrete coatings, decorative concrete, home improvement contractor. Let's get right into it. Maximize your lead flow. We're going to examine three areas, three channels specifically that I want you to write some notes and get some ideas and strategies. Now, if you're part of the Contractor Click family, Concrete Marketing family, awesome. Make sure you write some notes, questions that you have for your account managers, the client success managers here, so that you can have those conversations and go deeper for execution. When I look at the home improvement landscape, and we're studying the pay-per-click conversation, which pay-per-click is the fastest path to ROI. Let me say that again. Pay-per-click advertising is the fastest path to an ROI. That means I can invest this month and I can expect to have an ROI this specific month. And we're going to talk about the different channels here and have you consider, okay, what is it exactly that I'm doing through my Google Ads advertising strategy? What does that even look like? Am I advertising just for search? Am I advertising for my brand name? Am I advertising for competitor terms? Am I advertising for every relevant term? Or am I just letting the Google Ads strategy run on its own? And if you have not considered, Google Ads is still, from a research perspective, from a homeowner to the research process, is still the number one. It still comes up as the number one place where individuals go and make their research. If you are in home services, plumbing, restoration, roofing, etc., what we're noticing is Google Ads. Without Google Ads, you're pretty much going to go out of business. And it's harder to scale a business without the Google Ads. Now, let me say this. Write this down, everyone here. Write this down, LSA. LSA. For some contractor verticals, it's not for everyone. For home improvement, it's for some. For some, you have the LSA option, which means that you have the opportunity to get into Google's lead network. And what Google does is they actually sell you the lead directly. Instead of paying per click, you can pay Google so that they can send you the leads. And there is a ranking factor where you optimize your Google business listing, you get more reviews than the competitors, and you're pretty much showing up all the way on top. So if you're a roofer, for example, you definitely want to have LSA running. Water damage, restoration, absolutely you want to have it. Plumber, it's got to be one of those things. Now, for some of us, which are running concrete coating, decorative concrete, we don't have the LSA available to us. Now, in some territories, you will start noticing LSA slowly rolling out. My guess is by the end of 2024, we'll have LSA running for the concrete coatings, like a proper concrete coatings LSA category. So you can Google, you can literally make the research of LSA for epoxy flooring, LSA for concrete polishing, LSA for concrete contractors, and you might not find it yet. So you just keep checking on it. If you're one of our clients, we'll let you know when that option becomes available, because it will help you manage and scale your Google Ads advertising at an even deeper level than you can do solely with a landing page, Google search, pay-per-click ad campaign. Okay. That being said, let's move into the second, which this channel is by far is the one that has the highest volume. And I put this here second: Instagram, Facebook, Meta advertising, Meta ads, Facebook advertising. I put it there second because it has the highest volume. However, does not mean that it has the highest level of conversion. So for example, you get a Google lead, that lead is going to convert much higher. At the end of the day, we've done thorough analysis on this. The numbers even themselves out. So you get less leads here, more conversions. You get more leads here, less conversions, but they all even themselves out, to the point that we made it our mission to tell our clients, you got to do both. Like, there is no negotiation in this economy to just kind of swing it with one. And the reason being is, when you're running Facebook and Instagram ads, guess what a consumer is going to do? They're going to see your ad. And if they're not market or product aware, they're going to go back out to Google search, make a quick Google search. And if you're not showing up on top of the ads, guess what? You're going to lose that that opportunity there. So the moment that you're running Facebook and Instagram ads, you are creating, and your competitors are also creating that demand in your service area. Same thing. If you're running television ads, you've got to be showing up in these other channels here. We have then through Facebook and Instagram Meta, which I want to make sure you understand this, is the remarketing. That means if someone clicks on our landing page through Google Ads, they're going to see your ads on Facebook and Instagram. Luis, are you with us? Can you just give me some feedback into the budget allocation you recommend for a Facebook and Instagram remarketing from a website or landing page? What should the daily budget be for that remarketing campaign?
I mean, $3 a day is enough to farm an audience for remarketing. Literally,
Yep.
just $3.
$3. Yep. And that $3, and as you get more conversions, you start creating lookalike audiences, and then boom, you go on scale. Yeah. So the remarketing that you do, so all of it comes together. All of this becomes remarketable. And this is a big thing about maximizing and stabilizing your lead flow is if you don't own your ad accounts, this is a time to make sure you own your ad accounts, because the data, you want to be the owner of your own data. And this is something we do with all of our clients. We make sure it's their accounts. Sometimes our takeoff takes a little bit longer because they got to get approved, set up, and all of that. But at the end of the day, it's their best long-term, safest strategy. So Facebook and Instagram advertising, again, it's the second channel, highest volume for home improvement. The third one I'm putting here, and this one is going to be one that you might see become more and more popular this year, is the YouTube advertising. Now, for example, we have one of our clients here, Tim, who we love. We're going to go into his area next weekend. I think it's next weekend. We're going to be spending a couple of days with him. And guess what? We're going to be capturing video content for his YouTube channel, for his website. But some of those videos are going to become YouTube ads. And they're going to be remarketing campaigns to what everyone else has seen already on a landing page, on a website, etc. Because now when someone goes from searching your services up, they click on your website, they go to YouTube later on, they submit their information, and now they see the truck rolling in with your crew in there installing the floors, they might be more likely than not to trust you more and do business with you. So maximizing lead flow and maximizing opportunities is more about becoming omnipresent. And this is another one here. Luis, let me ask you this question again. How much money should you be spending into YouTube remarketing?
$5 a day.
$5 a day. So type in the number 5 in the chat. I think everyone can do it. And that's the thing is, this is why we have Teffy here, for example. She's our amazing video editor, graphic designer. She crushes it for our clients. And at the end of the day, what we want to do is create creatives that stand out in the feed, in the social media, especially on YouTube, those pre-roll ads. And remarketing, there's 2 types of remarketing I want to emphasize here. We go back. One of them is the display remarketing, which, for example, you go to Fox News or CNN, MSNBC, you go to Bloomberg, and you're looking at your stock numbers, and you see those ads showing up on the right-hand side, those square ads. Those are display ads. Now, another form of remarketing is what we explained before. It's through Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube remarketing. Those are great execution campaigns. And this year, more than ever, I want to encourage you to go all in, because you don't need to spend a lot more in every channel. You just need to be wise enough to be there so that you become the go-to omnipresent contractor. I mean, you could pretty much hop off this call here and take this, run with this right here, and you will be doing much better than your competitors who are not. That is the reality of this. No exaggeration. Now, I want to introduce this right here, this one platform, which if you have not created your profile in Nextdoor, go ahead, put that on your list, write that down, Nextdoor. So homework assignment real quick is, if you have not created your accounts, ad accounts in all of these platforms here, just go ahead and create the Google Ads account, for example, if you don't have one. YouTube ads. Maybe you don't have a YouTube channel. Maybe this is the time to create your company's YouTube channel. Make sure it's got the right logo, all the information about your company, etc. And Nextdoor is just like a Google business listing. It's just like that. And what you want to do, the key to Nextdoor is you can also create a post just like you do on Facebook and boost that post. And that post is going to go out to your community and showcase the beautiful floors that you do, or the beautiful transformations, patios, pool decks, everything you do for your clients. So Nextdoor, it's a big opportunity. Do not sleep on it. The key to getting the highest ranked in Nextdoor is simple, team. It's reviews. So one of my favorite things to do is, if you have a client base, you can go ahead and ask your clients. If you have family members that live in town, you can ask your family members, team members, all of them. It's definitely easier to get more reviews on Nextdoor than it is on Google Business or Yelp, because anyone can give you a review and it's not a big deal. So just letting you know, we've had clients that have never had presence in Nextdoor, and all of a sudden it becomes a channel where they're squeezing out another 6, 7, 8 floors a month. You boost those posts, you create the presence, you're going to get calls, you're going to get referrals, and all of that. That's the process with Nextdoor. So don't sleep on it. Home improvement. And that's for the PPC, pay-per-click. Now, here's the key. Scale through KPIs. Scale through KPIs. And I want to give you our KPIs internally. What is it that we're looking for when it comes to pay-per-click advertising for home improvement contractors? And this is done channel by channel. Every channel is going to be entirely differently. Let me give you an example. For example, we had a client who, a multi-million-dollar company, his cost per lead was somewhere around $280 per lead in the winter time. Cost per job acquisition, an average $5,000 job, was somewhere around $1,200 a year prior, came over to us, got it down to $800 this last winter, chopped it off, but the cost per lead was still high. We just added the automations, the CRM, the lead engagement process to it, and he was able to stabilize. That's an extreme situation there. What you want to figure out is the cost per lead, and then calculate the cost per acquisition, because through the cost per acquisition, you can look at your numbers and your profitability and ensure that you're staying within margin. Last thing I want to do is have you put all this money out, start making money and not knowing your numbers, and then go upside down fairly quick. So for that to scale, the cost per lead and cost per acquisition, those are relevant numbers. Those are numbers we can look at as far as the lagging indicators, the analytics, what's given to us at the end of the day. The one number I want you to control is your conversion. And the conversion comes in a way of appointment set and sold job. Appointment set, sold job. Sales conversion. If you have not gotten a grip on the sales conversion, or you're the only one doing it, great. This is the time to go back to the drawing board and just look at the last 5 jobs that you've tried to sell. What was your closing percentages? Or maybe you have a new salesperson, right? So this is the time to get deeper into understanding your numbers. Luis, I'm going to ask you again one more time here. What does this conversation look like with our clients on a month-to-month basis?
I think it's breaking down the big number and into small monthly numbers to really be able to track where you're at. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know where you're at, how do you know how close or how far you are to your goal, right?
Yeah. And also, this is scalable, right? The moment we reverse engineer production for our clients, which is something I invite everyone to do, is reverse engineer your production and reverse engineer your KPIs. It's going to give you a good idea into how much you should be investing into marketing, advertising, and then dial in every single month, improve, and see how you've done year over year, month over month. This is it, as simple as it gets. So very important for you to take a picture of this. If you have not, I'm going to make sure that we get the replay for this. So the lead maximizer tip for you, if you're doing pay-per-click advertising or looking to get into it, or currently doing it with us, and you're thinking about what we're doing different this year, adding the YouTube mix, as well as the pictures and all of that, I want you to understand that the superior creative and the superior offer plus the omnipresence is going to be the fastest path to increase your conversion. Let me say that again. The superior, the creative. And the creative is the visual, the picture. So if you're running ads like everyone else is out there and it looks the same way, and everyone's offer is the same $250 off, Luis, they're running the same garage floor picture, it looks a little bit different. It's probably going to have the offer or the ad fatigue. People are not going to respond to it as much. So we want to make sure those are fresh, standing out. Same thing with the videos. We want to make sure that they're disrupting the feeds and we're getting right through it. Plus building the omnipresence, because once they've consumed a piece of video from us or a piece of the ad and maybe they click, but they did not convert, we remarket them and they convert somewhere else. Super powerful in this mix. Maddie, are you with us? What else would you add here in the pay-per-click conversations?
I think you've talked about all of it. I think the last what you just said right now, if you don't convert here, you're going to convert somewhere else. I think that's the best part about like just making sure that you're everywhere. You need to be everywhere because there's a different audience that uses a different platform for a different purpose, and you have a different audience that lives in a different place for a different reason. And the best thing to do is to make sure that you have all your bases covered and you make sure that they see your stuff in anywhere and everywhere that they hang out in. And also in terms of the creatives, which is also very important, it's very important to stand out because a lot of people don't see the difference between certain ads, for example. And if your ad looks like everybody else's, you know, it's gonna kind of fall through the cracks. So you gotta always have to be thinking about different ways to be creative and stop the scroll and do the things that will have people stop for a minute and click on the ad, even if they don't click on it the first time. The more a person stops on your ad,
how many seconds do you give it?
Listen, if you haven't captured the person within the first 3 seconds, like forget it. The more a person stops on your ad, the more it's gonna pop up on their feed. So
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and Google Facebook rewards that. YouTube as well. Like the longer people stay on that ad, you get a lower cost per view, and that's what moves the needle. Good stuff. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. You want to be disruptive in your service area. Write this down. How can I be disruptive in my service area this year with my video ad? So as we have Tim here, what I love about Tim is, man, you're having us come over, man. We're going to create some amazing video ads, and I can't wait to roll those out because those will be disruptive. We definitely want to help you stand out in the feed. Now, I want to slow down here for a second. We got questions. Are you finding this helpful? Do you have any questions? Type it into the chat here. Type it into the chat, please. And let me see here. Type it into the chat. And Andrew, I don't know if you've been catching some comments here that you want to share with us. Anything that's standing out to you?
Yeah, I was sharing in the comments. Ben said, you know, sometimes there's a video, he's putting out weekly videos of the process, the products, testimonials, that sort of thing. And then should we repurpose them or should we not? And would it oversaturate, overwhelm the feed? And I'll let you know, I was watching a training on this just the other day on Viral Coach, and they were definitely saying repurpose winners. So you're going to reformat it a little bit. You're not going to share the exact same video. You might change the thumbnail, change the length, add a different hook in the beginning. You might even film something new in the beginning, or rearrange the clips. But I think we sometimes burn ourselves out on just trying to get new on the videos when really we have some great content and they can show that project again, especially if it was a superior project that you don't have the same followers as you did 60, 90 days ago. So there's a chance to even show it to people that are new followers or the algorithm may have missed. And then also using those as ads if you know that went well organically.
Yeah, love it, love it. Tim, I would love to hear from you. What's standing out to you the most in this conversation? Unmute yourself, Tim. Let's see. Where's Tim at? Love the
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't even know how I got this background.
It looks great.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, no, I think everything is great. I completely agree. I'm really excited about you guys coming out, and we have a long list of things that we want to do just to shake things up whenever people are finding us. Through the automation, utilizing the videos through automations with the customers. document every single part of our process. And we just have a lot of just cool ideas that just I really am looking forward to trying. But everything you're saying, I completely agree with. Nextdoor is one thing that we've been really wanting to get set up, which we haven't done at. That's actually on our list next week to do as well, because I want to push with it. And yeah, with our side, everything has been staying fairly busy. So, I haven't noticed a drop off or an increase in ads. I'd say since you guys have started with us, our ad costs have actually gone down. Yeah, everything that you're saying, I completely agree with.
We appreciate you. Can't wait to break some bread with you next week. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So let's get right back to it, team. And anyone else, if you have questions, type them into the chat. I'll make sure Andrew stops me here. And I'm hoping that you're finding this helpful. Give me a yes in the chat or give me a no. It's okay. I won't get offended if you say no. If you're finding this conversation helpful for you today, let's get into the second aspect here, which is what everyone likes to talk about, is Google search. Let's talk about search in itself. Search has evolved. It's gone from being 90% dominated by Google to all of the sudden last year and a half. And so AI has become a tool that people are learning how to integrate to their daily lives. They're no longer going right into Google search. Oftentimes, they might be going into ChatGPT to ask a question. So with that in mind, I want to give you my personal analysis this year as we stand 2024. Google search is still the #1 place where homeowners are searching for their home improvement project. That means they're searching for ideas, they're searching for examples, they're searching for contractors. So when we look at the funnel, top of the funnel, awareness, engagement, middle of the funnel, and conversions at the bottom of the funnel, Google search is still the #1 place where homeowners will begin the journey, followed to Google search. Now, by consumption, YouTube is #2 by search. However, by consumption, homeowners spend more time on YouTube than they do on Google search researching. On Google search, you have about an average of 3 minutes spent in the engine looking for the destination. And then on YouTube, there's a consumption. So I want to encourage all of you. YouTube gives you the opportunity to be a localized channel, which means that your results can come up higher when you tag your content with your location. That means that it doesn't matter if HGTV shot a great video on a transformation, if they're not local, your video, organic video, not the ads, the organic video can actually show up higher and more relevant if you get your audience engaged in that platform. So I put here #2 as far as the search engine. However, the consumption is higher on YouTube than it is on Google search. And this is why we're recommending this be a place where you treat YouTube as a search engine. And just like you've built a website, build content to educate your prospect throughout the entire spectrum of the funnel, the entire spectrum. If you look at Contractor Clicks or Concrete Marketing Crew is what we had it before, Contractor Clicks YouTube channel is our #1 consumption vehicle. We get hours and hours and hours of consumption every single week. And I can tell you, anytime anyone consumes content before they hop on a strategy call, they're pretty much pre-sold. So you want to create that advantage over your competition here. And for what's his name, Ben, I think it was Ben who said he's producing videos on YouTube. Then you repurpose the YouTube videos, right? When you find something that's getting you clicks and is getting you views in one platform, you can pretty much take that one and then test it out in a different platform, obviously in the format that is applicable to that platform. Next to YouTube, we have the #3 platform of search. We have social media. Interestingly enough, I want to bring Maddie into the mix here to talk about how people search social media, how homeowners are searching social media. And you have these trends, which to me, I don't know about you guys, but I go to YouTube, I go to Google search, but I'm not on Instagram or TikTok. However, my wife, Maddie, she goes into all these different platforms to do product research and make big investments. And all of a sudden she's like, hey, well, guess what? I think we should do this. Hey, on our backyard, I want to do this project. Can you talk a little bit about the search factor in this platform?
Okay. So yeah, the search factor, you could definitely search for all that stuff. Like it's gotten smarter in terms of like searching for certain keywords in the For You page. But I'm gonna be honest with you, the product research that I do the most part in our house for our things and in myself personally is influencer marketing, man. Like I get influenced all the time. And it is very, very true and it is very, very real. And I'm gonna be less influenced sometimes by say like maybe an ad. I see an ad and I like it, but I might be more influenced by the 3 or 4 people that I follow whose house I think is beautiful and who tell me, hey, buy this particular product from this particular person because I trust them. And so I think that's a big, huge opportunity that exists in social media. The searchability is super important. I constantly look for hashtags when I'm doing, I'm looking for specific colors of things. I'll look through the hashtags and whatnot, but the influencer marketing is a huge thing when it comes to social media.
Yes, and one of the key searches that you must come up for, it's all your social media branded profiles. So if there's any other company in your vicinity, etc. So that's a great point, because the moment someone sees you in someone else's world and they're demonstrating your product, you know, you completed a project transformation for a realtor that's well known in the area. Now they're going to start Googling or searching your name in the platform and then looking you up and seeing what else you've documented. So if the only documented proof is in their feed and not yours, kind of devalues you. So you definitely want to show up higher for your brand and have those brand profiles optimized for your business and keywords. We have our friends and clients, the Epoxy Pros. The Epoxy Pros, for example, if you look them up on Instagram, they use the keywords of what they want to rank higher for inside of their name. Andrew, you want to speak to that? How important using some of the keywords in the description or the name of the social media channels?
Yeah, you'll actually see Epoxy Pros update and kind of tweak with their name, because that first header, the one that's in bold on Instagram, it tells you a lot about what that company is. So if you're not saying who you are and who you serve in your profile, it's not getting searched properly. One of the things I notice a lot, because we like to follow and engage with accounts online, is a lot of people are not tagging their location. I know that it might seem obvious to you who you are and where you serve, what cities and territories that you're in, but it's not to someone just randomly looking on Instagram. So whether you're using hashtags, local hashtags, and also adding location on those Instagram posts to the different cities that you serve. You can go county, you can do cities. I really, really recommend that, so people can tell where you're from, because there's no question who the Epoxy Pros serve. They serve South Florida area. They're willing to travel sometimes too, but it's shown a lot on their feed too. We did have a question come through, Danny,
Yes.
about the Google Business Profile.
Okay.
So Ramina said we actually don't have a warehouse, so we've had trouble with the address situation. Okay, if we use a home address, does that help, or does it look like we're just rookies? Should we get a PO box? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes. So for the Google Business listing, the GBP, you want to think about it this way. You have a radius, right? And wherever, if your home address is centralized and that determines your service area, go ahead and put in your address. It's, if say this is your service area and your Google listing is here, you're going to come up for your brand, but it's not going to get you the leads that you want. So it's all relevant. And what I would recommend is analyzing, like if you do a 5-mile radius around this, what does it look like? If you're in a metro area, for example, like for example, New York City, in New York City, you have Uptown, Midtown, and then you have Soho, etc. Google gives you small, literally blocks of worth of radius. So if you're a doctor, etc. But for your instance, if this is a home, it's completely fine. What I do recommend is make sure you have your trailer and truck wrapped parked right in the driveway. Have your proof of business documents and have 1 or 2 utility bills to your business name right in your home, so that when they have you do the video verification, you can literally walk from the outside, show them the blocks, show them, hey, this is the truck that we're using here. Walk into your home and say, this is our office that we have for now. This is our incorporated papers. This is our website, etc. So that is probably the best way to get that done. And you have your utility. Yeah. So get the truck wraps. And then we've had clients that haven't had the truck wraps, but they have the magnets right on their trucks. You get something like that. The utility bills and papers of incorporation, that probably has more weight than having the entire truck wrap, if that helps. So hopefully that answered that question here. 48 minutes per day, that's quite a bit of content. So might as well just create content on YouTube. Some of the content that you can create, team, if you have not considered this, is do a podcast. Do a video podcast. So you record the video, you educate your prospects, you take all the frequently asked questions. Again, think of it as if it's your website, but it's a new way where people consume content. And when they like what they see in your channel, some of those individuals might not convert right away, but over time, those are some of the best prospects who become the fans. We talked about having local apps set up in your area. So Thumbtack, that's a local application to homeowners. Do I personally like Thumbtack? I don't. However, that has a stream of leads coming into it. Then you have Nextdoor. I would do Nextdoor before I do Thumbtack if I'm a contractor. So I would recommend you get local and engage in your profiles. If it's for free, claim it, get it up and running, link up your social media channels, your website, put the most beautiful pictures and work that you do, post to it consistently. And I'm telling you, don't sleep on Nextdoor, because people do recommend, ask for recommendations right next door. Then you have the good old Facebook groups. Make sure that is part of the social there. People are searching within Facebook groups. So make sure that you're showing up and that you're recommended. And the last place that we're noticing homeowners starting to search on, and this is very different platform by platform. One of them is Gemini, which is part of Google's effort to try to keep people inside of the platform. Gemini is not ChatGPT, but it's still an AI search engine. We have seen it improve ridiculously. So I personally love Gemini, but I also use ChatGPT. I get more technical help from ChatGPT. I get more from real-time results. And the way I see search evolving, Google search and AI, Google is going to start presenting data from an AI perspective here in the next 4 to 6 months. So by the end of this year, you're going to notice that search is going to evolve. We have started to see that. What I noticed too is they don't want to just take down the Google ads because that's their biggest source of revenue in search. So they will probably evolve the platform, the way it displays. Keep a close eye on it. How is it coming up in your area? But Google has started rolling out some AI search results already. So make sure your website is optimized to show up for the right keywords for for your services, for what you do, examples, transformations, frequently asked questions, what we call the big five questions people have. And this is what covers Google search and the search landscape. So here's your homework. Do you know what your customers are searching for? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Do you know? And there are 2 types of keyword research, actually 3 types of keyword research. I'm going to recommend that you do the first one here, which is your customers. So you ask your customers. And when Emily first started working with us, she challenged us. She's like, hey, I get this is keyword research you guys perform. However, as a homeowner, this is probably not how I would be searching a project like this, right? So your customers are searching projects very differently than the good old keyword research, Google Keyword Planner, etc. Google Keyword Planner has started hiding information from customers because what they don't want to give you is the keywords that convert the highest on Google Ads. Because if you knew, you could just bid on those and that's it. It'd be the end of it. So what we want to find out is what is it that our customers are searching for. So next time you get a call, you just want to ask, hey, how do you find us? Oh, we found you on Google. Hey, do you mind asking, what was it that you were looking for specifically? You remember what you were typing on Google search? Now, if you don't want to ask up front, ask after. And when you survey about 10 clients and you get 10 answers, that's going to give you a very solid idea. Don't ask your friends, ask your customers. That is the number one keyword research you want to be doing. The second type of keyword research is what we get from the Google Business Profile. If you have a Google Business Profile will tell you what people are searching for that's given an impression. So in some cases, it's going to be your business name. Other times it's going to be like services, concrete polishing, staining, or hardscaping contractor, hardscaping near me, right? We want to know what those terms are so you can build a better strategy. And the last one is the Google Search Console. Underutilized, undertapped, that is number 2 place to get keywords. The last place is doing it the good old keyword research way, which is like what we do here. We start our keyword research here, and we get our customers' feedback, our clients' feedback, and then integrate this into the plan. Because now that gives us the ability to optimize the website for what we need to the content and all that, right? So that is your homework. Make sure you understand what is it that my customers are searching for truly. Don't just take what the marketer is telling me. Don't take what Google is telling you in the keyword planner. That's very misleading. Go to the Google Business Profile and Google Search Console. We want to find out what that looks like. And then what we want to do is now go out to Google and YouTube and start searching for those terms. Just poke around, boom. What is it? And then as you start finding out where you're positioned and placed in the search engines, now we can create a plan and a strategy for you to create content to meet the result for what people are looking for. So that being said, that is strategy number 2 here. So lead maximizer tip for you. One of the best type of content pieces you can create is showcase the project highlights and the big 5. So for example, for Tim, what are we doing next week is we're going to go out there and ensure that we're creating content that is relevant and is going to answer some of the big 5 questions here, but also capturing the projects, because we want to do a walkthrough before, during, and after into what it's like working with him. What does it look like to have a well-documented project? So if you're a concrete coating home improvement contractor, this is a must, a requirement. You want to rank higher in the search engines, let's get it done. So I want you to share what's your biggest takeaway so far. I want to make sure I'm not putting you guys to sleep, and we still got some listeners here. Type it into chat. What's standing out to you? What are you taking away from this conversation? Type it into the chat.
We had a question come in, Danny,
Please.
from Reagan, and the question was basically, okay, is this advice only for the bigger, established, experienced companies, or can this also help the new companies stand out? Because
it's even better for the smaller.
Okay, because they're going against ones with like tons and tons of reviews. They have a few Google reviews. How do they kind of get some of that bandwidth and attention towards them?
So what I would say is when you're lean, when you're smaller and you got more time in your hands, when you're bigger, you don't have time, but you have money. So you invest in people to do it. When you can do it yourself, just start shipping out content. Like I said, figure out what your customers are searching for right now in this phase and start creating content that's relevant for them. And then you take that content like a YouTube, a video, and you share it on your social medias, you share it on Facebook groups. And this is how you can go up against the bigger guys that are spending multiple hundreds a day, etc. And then what you do is, I want you to think about, and Andrew, if you could do me a favor, type in the big 5. I want you to do the big 5 as far as content creation, the big 5. And the big 5 comes from the book, They Ask, You Answer. So that means, what are people looking for when they're going through their buying decision on a business? So they might want to know about price. They might want to know about the quality, pros versus cons. They might want to know about their options, etc. I'll make sure Andrea posts the big 5 topics into the chat, because this is going to be one area that you could probably deploy faster than a bigger company. That's just a fact, right? Alex says, be present not just in one platform. The more places you show up, the more money you're going to make. That is key. Awesome. All right, let's get right to it. And we're over halfway done here. So let's continue our journey, team. And let's talk about our social channels. Social channels. This is by relevancy. This is the literal, as far as engagement and conversions, what do those channels look like currently, 2024, this time of the year? We are in April 19th at the time of this video. Instagram is still #1 from a conversions engagement perspective. A quick example is we have our friends at the Epoxy Pros, our clients at the Epoxy Pros. You see their channel. Andrea posted a picture earlier. They've been consistent on it. They generate some of the biggest projects from it. They've been able to build a very, very profitable company and training company out of Instagram alone. That's given them the audience to now start building their YouTube channel, which is #2 for them. And now their YouTube channel is growing and they've gotten commercial projects. They've gotten a lot of great things from YouTube. So even in this current landscape, we've seen Instagram change their algorithm a little bit. It's gotten a little bit tougher to get likes, get shares. However, consistency and creating the disruptive content is what's going to make your Instagram feed pop. So don't just create whatever content, be intentional about it. Spend a little bit more time or a lot more time thinking about what's going to be a great project highlight. How do I document this? And this is what we do here. This is what we're flying out people and sending people to capture our clients' work, because oftentimes our clients do not have the time to do it themselves. So they might want something better, done better and higher quality, etc. That's where we come in, we capture, we edit in-house, and then we post in the social channels, which is awesome. Second channel, YouTube. YouTube, I want you to embrace YouTube. This is the year of YouTube. If you did not embrace it last year, this is the year where you create videos, longer form content videos. And by longer form, I mean keep it to about 6 minutes. Anything over 6 minutes would probably, unless it's a podcast, it would probably start fading us the engagement on it. And make it relevant to the searches for what you want individuals to find you for. Third channel we have found to still work. It requires more muscle than Instagram or YouTube, and that's Facebook. Your Facebook personal profile is the #1 engagement tool. The second one is your company's. And what I have found is if you want your company's channel to grow, you almost have to always post it on your company's Facebook profile, then share it on your personal and use your personal profile to share it in the community groups. I see a lot of businesses going directly into community groups and sharing there, and the effectiveness is not there. So oftentimes just having the business owner or an individual, when females share content, they tend to get more engagement than males do. Doesn't mean males content don't work. However, I've noticed that there's always a pattern when a female shares content. After Facebook comes TikTok. And the funny thing about TikTok is every channel I posted here actually produces leads and engagement. And these are social channels from organic. Now, TikTok produces more engagement, however, produces less lead flow. And the leads that come through sometimes could be questionable. A lot of out of service area leads. So we've had a lot of our, some of our clients have gone national out of TikTok by the mere fact that a lot of the opportunities that started coming in were from out of state, etc. So if that's what you're looking to do, TikTok is a great place to be on. I would probably play it right with Instagram right up there if you're looking to go national. For local, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. So TikTok still gets engagement. You want to be there. Whatever has worked for you on Instagram on the Reels, you can pretty much repurpose that, what Andrew was talking about on TikTok. And that gives you a great social presence. Now, Nextdoor is another one I'm putting here again. It's a social channel. It's search, social. You got the pay-per-click capabilities in it. So I want you to be in Nextdoor. put it into your to-dos right after this conversation, this call. Set up your profile. It's for free. You don't have to pay anything. And start getting pictures. Optimize your profile and ask your past clients, send them a text message with your profile to get you a review. That's going to help you rank higher. So that is as far as the social channel here. Andrew, I want to bring you back here. What would you say? What's your 2 cents in the social media world, content creation? What's working for our clients? And I'll get Maddie as well. Let's get Maddie too.
Yeah, I was just putting in the chat that, you know, TikTok, sometimes you might be not realizing that TikTok can also generate income. I know that it has for epoxy pros, and not everyone's going to be that same personality as epoxy pros, but they're going to connect with different people because of it. I think the willingness to put yourself out there and get in front of the camera is always going to build trust with the upcoming clients and customers that you have. And remember, the TikTok age might not be your target demographic at this time, but that age will continue to go up. New social channels will come. So you do want to keep putting yourself out there. It's not that hard to post a video, cross post it to different platforms. And it's kind of fascinating to watch because you might have something really take off on Instagram, but not so much on TikTok and vice versa. So it just hits differently sometimes based on who's watching, but it's kind of fun to see what would thrive on one channel might not on another. So something you might have thought was a flop might not actually be. So just keep that in mind, have a fun hook and enjoy it. The thing we're working on the most is just having that consistency and also stability of, hey, let's make it fun and enjoyable.
Exactly.
But what you guys do as home improvement contractors is so fascinating to the average person. You might take it for granted. You're doing maybe the same motions every time. You're always throwing flake, but every time people see you mixing a metallic, like, it's so eye-catching. And a lot of things that we do in office are not as eye-catching. So you guys have quite a way to get more views.
It's a big advantage. You can have fun. We work virtually. It's much harder to pull off. We're constantly talking amongst ourselves. Hey, how can we make this funner? And Louis gave us a great idea the other day. He's like, hey guys, what do you think about this? I'm like, let's go for it. I ended up laughing for like 10 minutes. It took me 20 seconds to record the video, and then he went and got us some good likes. I love that. Maddie, what about you? What's your observations?
I think right now it's like Andre was saying, know your audience, know where they hang out, and produce content for that particular platform. You know, yeah, it's great to be like, oh, I have 1 million views on TikTok, but how many jobs did you get from them? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Is your person hanging out on TikTok, or are they hanging out on Facebook? We have one particular client of ours who is killing it on Facebook Reels, you know, of all places. And he has thousands of views on his Facebook Reels. And the thing that's working for him is that he's showing up as himself. He's not showing up as some different person of him. The person that you hear on that reel is the person that you hear when you pick up the phone and you speak to that person. And if he was on this call, he would be the same person you hear on this call. So be yourself, be genuine, be authentic. Because then when you show up at your customer's house, they're going to see who you really are on your social media page. Same thing with Epoxy Pros. What you see in the Epoxy Pros is who they are in real life. So show up as yourself, be fun, have content that's exciting and interesting about what you do, but also behind the scenes content about who you work with, what kind of, what you do for fun. People like to see all that stuff. It just creates a genuine picture of who you are and who your company is.
Now, you know, we've talked, and I like this conversation because we talked about the bigger channels already. Let's bring it down. I want to share like what some of our clients are putting together. Would it be helpful? Type in helpful in the chat if you want to see what type of content can actually work for you. Type in helpful in the chat if that's something you want to see. Renzo, type in helpful here. Let me get another 2 helpfuls before I move on to the next. Okay, so we got some helpful. So let me see, Mr. Tim. So let me share my phone. There's not going to be audio for the sakes of this. And Renzo, can you see my phone?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So take a look at some of these videos. They do speak Spanish, etc. But look at this. Look at that. Simple motion videos, right? And then we got the owners. I mean, you're showing the fun piece. Look at this right here, talking videos. This is shot from an iPhone. shot from an iPhone, right? And this is Maddie. You told the clients, hey, let's get a celebrity endorsement. Like, let's get someone that's got more followers than you. They took the strategy, they ran with it, and this is how they're able to lower the cost of lead generation by putting some of these pieces in place, because the more engagement you have in the platforms, the better it is. So just wanted to show you that, because sometimes we're overcomplicating it. The latest iPhone has the best camera that you need for just creating content. When we're over with Tim, we're going to teach you, and we're going to tell you, hey, this is what you need to do, and just have a phone ready and then go. So that being said, let's go ahead and finalize the conversation here in what we should be doing on social media that's working. Social media 2024, create unique content that helps you stand out. So what are some of the contents that we've seen work really well? Fun videos. I just showed you. Sometimes the fun videos is looking at your team do the work, and make sure that the lighting is right. Make sure it's not blurry. Like, the videos that do not perform are the ones harder to see and you don't know what you're looking at. Now, when you see a video where it's a proper lighting, the guys are having fun, you show their personalities, that's great. That's awesome. Also helps you showcase the culture. So if someone looks at your social media, what do they think about your business? What do they think about your culture? Is it boring? Is it old stale? Is it outdated? Or is it fresh? Does it look good? Are people smiling? Like, I mean, those are basic things, but just keep that in mind and have a conversation with your crew members and say, hey guys, how about this? We want to just create great content that showcases how fun it is for us to do our work. Frequently asked questions. You can do this in multiple modalities. Like I said, YouTube videos, take that YouTube video, repurpose it elsewhere. And then the progress video. If you're doing larger projects, doing progress phase 1 and phase 2 videos, those tend to perform really well because it keeps people subscribed to the channel because they want to see the end result. Sometimes if you do an entire, we've noticed that the companies that have done a one large project 9-minute video and done the entire before, during, and after in one, versus splitting that up into 2 videos, 2 to 3 minutes each, part 1, part 2. The ones that have multiple parts tend to get more followers from that first video than if they just publish the one video. So hopefully that made sense there. Progress video, split it up, especially if it's a large project. And this is a bonus tip I want you to all embrace this year. If you have not, Tim, homework for you. What's going to be the name of your podcast? Create a podcast. In fact, YouTube itself has created the channels because of the amount of people consuming podcast content, has created the podcast channel right within its platform to render the audio version in a podcast version. So create a podcast. It would be amazing. You guys have a warehouse. Just make sure you have the proper lighting. And we're going to do another follow-up. In fact, we did one of our podcast episodes this week. It's all about launching and creating your own podcast experience. What does that look like? Topics you can be talking about. So make sure you go to our Contractor Click YouTube channel and find the podcast there, and leverage all the content ideas we've given you in this specific masterclass here. The goal is to educate your prospects, entertain them, bring them value, show them what you're all about. And that's going to help you get known, get liked, and have more prospects do business with you. So yes or no in the chat. Yes or no. I want to hear, has this information been helpful to you today? Thank you for your time and your vote of confidence. I logged in late, but everything's extremely helpful. Hey, Joe, great to see you here. Want to see you in our Master next week. Make sure you reach out to me so we can get you in there. That being said, let's go into the next segment here. And that is simply, would you benefit from going deeper and getting a full marketing plan? I'm talking about a full marketing plan mapped out for you and your business for free. Everything we've discussed, think of it this way. We take your business. How would you apply it to your business? You guys think that would be helpful for you? Let me know yes in the chat. And for those of you that do think that is helpful, I want you to go ahead and claim your complimentary growth strategy call. This is a $497 value. And in the past history, we've done the sales calls where people call us. We talked about the business, etc. This is actually a deep dive. And let me explain to you the way that looks like. It's number one, the growth strategy call. It's a growth analysis in your business. We're going to help you do the keyword research in your area. If you're running Google Ads, great. We're going to do Google Ads audit. So that means this is going to be a two-step call. We're going to learn your territory, look at a search plan that's going to fit you and your company. We're going to also look at your Facebook advertising strategy if you're using Facebook and YouTube, etc., and give you recommendations for best performance. On the organic social, just like what I showed you here with Coatings Design, we're going to tell you exactly what you can improve, remove, add, etc., what equipment you need if you want to be doing more in-house. And it's all available to you at no cost, $497 value, for free. So if this is something that aligns with you, I want you to go to contractor.click/2024 and claim your growth strategy call. So what you're going to get, just to recap here, is you're going to get the best local and most relevant keywords in your area. You don't want to miss out, because what's changed here is the way that people are searching for content right now. And what we want to know is, how are people searching content both on search and on social? Next is improve your Google Ads strategy and results by getting a complimentary audit, get a search positioning plan, looking at where you're currently ranking, where you want to go, looking at the social ads improvement for your business. How is it that you can be showing up disruptively in your service area? We're going to look at your competitors and actually show you what they're running, so you have a better idea, and get a custom organic social strategy that's going to work. So you can scan the QR code, take a picture of this. There is a link right in the chat. You can click on that, or you can also just post yes in the chat, or send a message to Andrea here, and we're going to get you set up and hooked up with your complimentary growth strategy call. And this is brought to you by Contractor Click, formerly Concrete Marketing Crew. And I want to thank you all for participating, joining us, and staying tuned. Make sure that you follow us and subscribe to Contractor.click. That being said, I'm opening this up for questions now. This is Q&A time. We'd love to get questions so we can give you some answers. Let's see. I saw Mr. Pete Johnson in the house. What's going on, Pete? Great to see you, brother.
Not much, yeah. No, sorry I tuned in late, and I got to leave here in just a couple minutes, but I'm going to catch the replay on this one. I'm super excited for, Marketing 101, stuff I want to learn. And I'm super excited to be back next week. I will come back next week where you're going to be wrapping up April with crew efficiency and coming in strong with that. And we're going to piggyback off of marketing and utilizing your crews in those ways to make sure that you guys are profitable with your crews. So make sure that you guys are taking the advantage of Danny's program that he's just offering. And we're going to see you guys next week with my call.
That's right. If you're not part of Copemaster, this is a great opportunity. Pete and I joined forces in this, and the goal is simple, man. We want to help people out. That is what we're here to do. Romina says the link is not working for me. Andrew, can you just help her out? Get the email from her. Romina, the way it's going to work, and we have an interesting URL here. The way the page looks like, it should be like this: contractor.click/2024. And it's a calendar. That call is going to be with me. So I'm going to set aside some time. I can only do 10 of this because I'm already going over to Tim's location, and the rest of the month here, between everything else that I have to run in the business, I'm limited. So I'm going to be spending some time with all of you if you're taking advantage of this strategy call. Okay. Well, let me click on the confirm. Yeah, you got to scroll down. Scroll down, Romina. It's weird how you have to scroll down so that you can get another field, and then it should let you confirm in there. Anyone else questions? Any other feedback, Andrea?
Yeah, one of the things that I think is super cool that you do is website audits as part of that growth strategy, because sometimes you might not see the issues in your website. You just think it's working fine, but there's so much that can happen on a website. So I think that's a big part of it, website audits. So.
That's right. That's right. I want to see you all crush it. So here's the deal, guys. Go to contractor.click/2024 if you want to book a complimentary growth strategy call. Thank you for tuning in. Follow us at contractor.click. We'll see you in the next one.